Every time I go out, I have to go find my sister-in-law first. In a few quick moves, I take off her clothes and put them on myself. I am a transmigrator. The original owner of this body was a fool. The family also had an older brother who was a hunter. After the sister-in-law married into the family, the brother was bitten to death by a bear while hunting in the mountains. Thus, only the sister-in-law was left to take care of me. This foolish younger brother-in-law. In a dilapidated thatched hut, I stood in a pile of dried grass wearing thin linen clothes. Outside, a vast expanse of white snow stretched as far as the eye could see. My heart was filled with mixed emotions. This was the second day since I transmigrated here, and the beginning of accepting this identity.
Younger brother-in-law, are you awake? Have your meal early today. The heavy snow has sealed off the mountains. After you eat, don't run around. I'll go find some more food.
I looked at the beautiful woman in front of me. Fan Shi. She carefully carried a bowl of watery wild vegetable soup so thin you could see your reflection in it. Her eyes were full of worry. The former owner was a fool. After the brother died, it was entirely up to this frail sister-in-law to hold on, ensuring I didn't starve to death. A trace of gratitude welled up in my heart, but I didn't take the soup bowl.
Sister-in-law, the snow is too heavy. Let me go instead.
As I spoke, I got up from the pile of dried grass.
Younger brother-in-law, quick, turn around.
Fan Shi's face flushed bright red. She immediately turned around and covered her face tightly with both hands. Hearing Fan Shi's startled cry, I swiftly grabbed a handful of dried grass beside me to cover myself, scratching my head awkwardly.
Sister-in-law, please don't blame me. I just woke up muddle-headed.
Actually, it wasn't that I intentionally didn't wear clothes. First, I had just transmigrated, and my mind was still in a state of shock. Second, the brother's passing was too sudden. The family's only 2 linen clothes were taken for his burial. There's a village custom. No matter how poor one is in life, one must wear more clothes after death. Otherwise, they'll be looked down upon in the underworld. I reached back and grabbed the tattered cotton-padded jacket from the heated bed, the only one left in the house, and swiftly put it on. This originally belonged to my sister-in-law. Now, the two of us could only take turns wearing this one item to ward off the cold.
Sister-in-law, my heart is with this family now. From now on, I'll carry the burden.
My voice wasn't loud, but it carried an unprecedented firmness. After tying the straw rope belt, I casually picked up the old hunting bow and a notched firewood cleaver from the corner. Fan Shi was stunned. When did the eyes of that younger brother-in-law, who only knew how to giggle and drool, become as sharp as knives?
Younger brother-in-law, are you really better? Am I not dreaming?
Wait at home, heat up some water. We'll have meat when I return tonight.
Without further explanation, I pushed open the door and stepped out. Wind and snow instantly rushed in. Without looking back, I strode into the snowy ground. The former owner was a fool, but this body was extremely robust. Although only wearing short pants, I quickly adapted to the outside temperature. Just as I left the courtyard gate, a shrill voice pierced through the cold wind.
Oh my, Chin the second fool is going out, wearing your sister-in-law's jacket. That young widow at home must be freezing.
Walking towards me was a woman with a scowling, needy-faced neighbor, Gulan. Her eyes gleamed with malice.
Go back and tell your sister-in-law. If she doesn't return the 5 pounds of millet she owes my family by the end of this month, I'll go and tear down the beams of your house.
I paused, sweeping a cold glance over her. In the memories of my past life, this Gulan had bullied Fan Shi relentlessly. She lent 5 pounds of millet but forced Fan Shi to chop firewood for 3 days. Now she wanted both principal and interest.
The millet will be returned, but if you dare spew such filth again, I'll rip out your tongue.
I was tall and imposing. The murderous aura I deliberately exuded now actually forced Gulan to instinctively take 2 steps back, swallowing the curses that had reached her lips. How has this fool changed so much? Not far ahead, at the fork in the road at the village entrance, squatted a man with a weaselly faced loose sandog. Seeing me, his eyes rolled, and surprisingly, instead of teasing me as usual, he put on a fawning, cheeky smile and approached.
Hey! Chinyan, heading into the mountains, let me give you a tip. Over by West Ridge, I saw a huge patch of wild vegetables yesterday, right in the lee of the slope. The snow hasn't covered it.
West Ridge? A cold laugh rose in my heart. That was the edge of the deep mountains, where bears often roamed. My brother met his end near there. This loose sandog, thinking a fool knew no better, wanted to kill with a borrowed knife, hoping to seize the house of the helpless family.
Is that so? Thanks then.
The corners of my mouth lifted in an amused arc. Without exposing him, I turned and walked in the direction of West Ridge. Loose Sandog watched my retreating back and spat viciously on the ground.
Pa, stupid fool. Hope you don't come back. That young widow will be mine tonight.
Deep in the mountains, the snow was knee-deep. Of course, I wasn't going to dig for wild vegetables. As a top-tier wilderness survival expert in my past life, although this body was somewhat weak due to long-term malnutrition, its foundation was excellent, with natural, immense strength. After roaming the forest for an hour, I already had a few squirrels I dug out from their winter hibernation in my hands. Too few. This bit of meat isn't even enough to fill the gaps between my teeth. I narrowed my eyes. Suddenly, I spotted a line of footprints in a pine forest near a cliff edge. Roe deer. And judging by the depth of the prints, this roe deer weighed at least 50 gene or more. In heavy snow, once startled, these silly creatures, roe deer, would bury their heads in the snow, or stop to catch their breath when tired from running. I didn't rush to shoot an arrow. The inferior hunting bow in my hand had a limited range. I took a deep breath, adjusting my breathing. Like a leopard crouching, ready to pounce, I began sprinting across the snowy ground. If it were an ordinary person, running less than 2 li in the snow would lead to exhaustion. But my body grew hotter the more I ran, as if it contained inexhaustible energy. After chasing for a full half hour, the foolish roe deer ahead finally couldn't run anymore. Panting heavily, it stopped beside an old tree, turning its head curiously to stare at this 2-legged creature. Now! I pounced fiercely. Without using the cleaver in my hand, I directly delivered a heavy punch to the roe deer's forehead. Thud! The silly roe deer didn't even have time to let out a sound before collapsing softly. Panting heavily, I wiped the hot sweat from my face. Besides this roe deer, on the way back, I conveniently shot a plump white hare. This should be enough to cover part of the taxes and also nourish my sister-in-law's body. Carrying the roe deer on my shoulder, with the hare and squirrels tied at my waist, I headed back against the setting sun. Just as I reached the village entrance, dusk had fallen. Before even entering the courtyard, I heard a shrill scream coming from our broken-down house.
No! No! Get away from me! Younger brother-in-law, save me!
It was Fanshi's voice. My mind buzzed. Blood rushed to my eyes instantly. Lou Sandog, you're seeking death. I didn't even have time to put down the roe deer on my shoulder. Striding urgently to the door, I saw that the already rickety, broken wooden door was bolted from the inside. With a flying kick, the wooden door shattered in response. Inside the house, the light from the cooking fire was dim. The thin layer of linen tightly wrapped around Fanshi's body was mostly torn. She huddled, trembling, in a pile of dried grass in the corner, clutching a pair of scissors pressed against her neck. Meanwhile, Lou Sandog was unfastening his belt, laughing triumphantly as he closed in.
Scream! Your foolish little brother-in-law. He's probably been eaten by a bear by now. Submit to me, and you won't lack for a bite to eat in the future.
Lou Sandog, how dare you touch someone from my Chin family?
A furious roar exploded like thunder from level ground. Lou Sandog trembled in fright, his pants nearly falling down. Turning his head, he saw a fierce figure standing at the doorway, steaming with heat, eyes bloodshot, with a huge beast slung over his shoulder.
You actually didn't die!
His answer was a roundhouse swing from me. I didn't even put down the roe deer. Grabbing its 2 hind legs directly, I used the 50-gene dead beast as a meteor hammer, smashing it fiercely onto Lou Sandog. Lou Sandog was struck so hard he spat out a mouthful of blood, flying through the air like a kite with a broken string. He crashed onto the ground, then tumbled heavily into a pile of firewood.
Damn you! Dare to lay hands on my sister-in-law? I'll cripple you.
I threw down the roe deer, strode over, and stepped on Lou Sandog's lower abdomen, applying pressure. A pig-slaughtering shriek was forced out of Lou Sandog.
Murder! The fool is going to kill someone!
Lou Sandog's shout carried far in the silent winter night.